So it finishes Fulham 2, Forest 1. And to be honest, Forest were lucky to even get one goal. Welcome to the player ratings and match reaction. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the match reaction. And if you're live in the chat, get your player ratings in. It's pinned in the comments there. If you're watching later, let me know in the comments not who the man of the match was. Who's the worst player on that pitch? Because I'm struggling to pick one out. Because there's many, not because there wasn't any. As always, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you're new. Shout out to Matt. Happy 2-year anniversary. Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate it, bud. And let's get into that. Look, Forest, maybe for the first 2 minutes, you could argue we're okay. We're just too deep. We just invite pressure. We couldn't stop the crosses. Like, the crosses were just coming in, man. Anyone would think, like, we're playing in Transylvania, man. The amount of crosses that were coming in, we just couldn't stop them. It was disgusting. And it was from both flanks. Pick the right side where Traore decides to have the match of his life, or the left side as well, where Iwobi was just getting around the back of Einar a few times and then whipping it in. And that's what cost us. That's what cost us, is these crosses. We couldn't get close enough to Traore. Traore was just too strong. The rest of the team, I thought Danilo was crap. Look, I went easy on him after Brighton, but he was poor today. He was really poor. Morgan Gibbs-White was horrific. Anderson, like, I don't know if he had no studs on his boot. He kept falling over. He didn't look himself. Honestly, Sells, really. And that's it. I mean, was there anyone else? Milenkovic didn't look great. Morato looked crap. Murillo, I guess, was okay-ish. The midfield was non-existent. And as long as people are not leaving... Oh, if people want to troll, let them troll. Let them troll. Because I live rent-free in their head. So the more they troll, the better my mood becomes. That I know that they're that excited about a Forest loss, because it happens once in a blue moon. Anyway, the first goal was really poor from Morato. Look, could Nico Williams have done better to stop the cross? He'd already committed to Traore, who cut back in and crossed it in on his left foot. But Morato was nowhere to be seen. He was watching the ball. He got under the ball. Smith Rowe makes a late run into the box, gets behind him, and just an easy header into the back of the net. And then nothing changes, man. This is what frustrates me, is that most times when a team scores a goal, they go on the back foot naturally and think, right, let's absorb some pressure for 5 minutes, establish our lead. Against Forest, it's like, it's still 0-0 in their minds. Nothing has changed. And they just continue to carry on as they were. And that's the bit that frustrates me. In fact, when Forest got their goal, it was completely against the run of play. A decent-ish ball into the box from Gibbs-White. And then Chris Wood is able to sort his feet out quickly and puts a nice finish in. Okay, it took a slight deflection off Bassey's right arm. But who cares? It went in. And then Forest got into half-time, completely against the run of play, level. And at that stage, Nuno's got to make the changes. He's got to look at it and think, Danilo's having a stinker, Morato's having a stinker, bring on Callum Hudson-Odoi, switch to a back four, and bring on Sangare as well for a bit of steel in the midfield. What does he do? Nothing. Nothing. What frustrates me more is that he waits until we concede the second goal, which is from a corner, by the way. These are now slowly starting to stack up. You know, the thing we got rid of, that set piece issue, slowly starting to stack back up. What's his face? Jimenez has a free header. I can't remember who came up against him. They did crap, whoever it was. He flicks onto the back post. Wood saw Bassey. You see him look over his shoulder, ignores him. So Bassey's free. Einar's slow to close him down. Bassey then gets a free header at it, puts it back in. Sells can't do anything about it. And then no real change there. Well, sorry, the change then comes there. Too little, too late. Sangare comes on for Danilo. He still doesn't change the shape, by the way. He waits another 5 minutes before he makes the Callum Hudson-Odoi change for Morato. And then it's too late. It's too late. It was Danilo. Thank you, Roberto. It's Danilo. Again, too easy for Jimenez on that. Then we changed the shape, and the only real chance that we created was a Callum Hudson-Odoi chance where he hits it straight at the keeper. Look, that wasn't as bad as Bournemouth, but it wasn't much better. Just because the scoreline was a lot less doesn't make it better. That was still a really poor performance. And I said at the start of the game, the 3-4-2-1, of course you should go with it because we just beat Brighton 7-0 with it. You go again with that same team. But my God, they're still hungover from their yacht trips in Dubai. That's clear to see. There was no one crunching in for a tackle. There was no one closing in on the players. Nothing. It was just like, let's stand off. Smith Rowe was getting in between the pockets. Traore just absolutely blitzed it down the right-hand side. Oh, now Rob thinks Dubai was a bad idea. There was nothing wrong with Dubai, but a lot more time was spent on the yacht than it was on the training pitch. I'll tell you that much right now. So, yeah. That's kind of the summary of the match. Let's get into the player ratings. Mods, make sure they're getting them likes up. Please do hit that like button if you haven't already. And make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new here. Get your player ratings in. The link's pinned in the comments for you. Let's jump across to that now. My man Curtis with the $5 says, Nuno not good enough for Europe, no pattern of play, terrible in-game management. Happy clappers can be okay with mediocrity, but I am not. Go in summer. Whoa, big words there from Curtis. You're welcome to your opinion, bro. You are welcome to your opinion. Thank you so much for the $5. Okay, let's kick this off with Sells. I've got no issues with Sells' game today. I thought he was fine. I know he conceded 2 goals, but I don't think any of them were on him. And he made some good saves, by the way, to stop it being 3 or 4-1 to Fulham. I'm going to give him an 8. You guys may think it's a little high, but watch the game back. He kept the scoreline down. I'm going to go an 8 for him. Thank you, Gary. He's got his ratings in as well. Let's see what you guys did with your ratings. 7.31. Not great. Yeah. I think you guys are a little harsh. Wood was voted as Premier League man of the match. Wood was not man of the match. He was not man of Sells was man of the match for me. Okay, so that's yours. Let's move on. Well, let's move on to Aina. Ah, crap. I need the original team, as if by magic, there it is. Okay, Ola Aina. I think both the fullbacks really struggled to stop the crosses. And no one seemed to understand that a lot of their threat was coming from the crosses. And it got to the stage where they were just spamming crosses. Look, it wasn't as bad as Traore's side, but it was... Even going forward, he wasn't that good. I don't know. He's a 5. He's a 5. Oh, why didn't we just get a point at least, man? Seriously. Seriously. I'm going to give him a 5. You guys have gone a 4.5. I know I didn't play well. Let's see what you guys are saying. Some of you give him 5. Some of you give him a 6. Arctic Rob, you always seize on one tiny thing and amplify it. You rarely make a good argument, says James. Couldn't agree more, James. Couldn't agree more. A lot of you saying 4 in the chat. I've given him a 5. I don't care. Let's move on. Morato, absolute stinker today for me. Him and Danilo were the worst players on that pitch. Let me just bring him up. I think he's culpable for the first goal. Even before the goal, I was just saying his passing was lazy. He got turned a couple of times. This is all prior to the goal. And then he got under the ball. Didn't know the man was behind him. It was poor from him. He's a 3 out of 10 for me. I don't think he was good at all. I blame him. Can't wait for never a foul. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but there isn't one today, bro. There isn't one. So 3 for me. You guys went 4.1. I think 4.1 is too high. Wolfie is not squeaky clean when it comes to insults and disrespect. Facts. I'm not woke, so why would I be? I mean, people can't take insults, then not even insults. Can't take banter is probably the right word. That's their problem, not mine. Can I do a live call in? No, I can't. I got to go out for my mum's birthday because I'm going to be a barrel of fun for that. Okay, let's move on from Morato to Milenkovic. I thought Milenkovic was a little lazy today. I thought some of his clearances were not it. Some of his headers, well, one of his header was nearly an assist for Traore towards the end of the game. And then he had this weird clearance where he hooked it back towards our goal and basically nearly set them up as well. I think it's one of his poorest games. I actually think he's been a little poor in these last few games, if I'm being honest, outside of Brighton. I don't know. Is he being overused? Don't know. 5 out of 10? Max for me? Absolute max? Probably a 4. Probably 4. I'll go 4.5. He's a 4.5 for me. See what you guys did. 5.1. I don't think he was that good, if I'm being honest. The teams are focused on us now. Our faults have been exposed. However, remember, we were fighting relegation last year. We are far exceeding expectations. It seems clear the CL participants are now set. I get what you're saying, but we are where we are now, and we need to focus on the current, not what we expected pre-season. So, you know what I'm saying? But I get that opinion as well. Okay. Did I get you a present? Yes, of course I did. Okay, Murillo. Same as Milenkovic. I thought probably out of the 3 defenders, he was probably the better one. Outside of that, I mean, he didn't do much. He didn't do much. He was okay, not spectacular, but not shit, is probably how I'd describe him. He wasn't involved in either of their goals. 5.5-ish. I mean, we still conceded and lost. 5.5 for me. Maybe a low 6. A low 6. Tops. Let's see what you guys did. 5.3 from your end. It's about right. I'd probably agree with that. And then Nico Williams. I don't know how to judge Nico Williams. I thought Nico Williams was one of the best attacking threats we had. Where is he? But let's be honest, Traore chewed him up and spat him out. But I still don't think he was bad. I don't know how to describe it. I think he needed more help from the midfield. But attacking wise, I actually thought he was quite good. He had a couple of decent pop shots. He had one that went just the other side of the post. I thought he was like, I'm going to give him a 6. I actually think he's probably been one of our best players in recent weeks, full stop. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I think he was better attacking than he was defensive. Traore was still able to get crosses in, get round him a few times. I get all that. But like, if you've seen the size of Traore, I mean, like I said before the game, he has one good game in 11, and today was it. So I'll give Nico Williams a 6. You guys have gone a 5.1. 5.1. I mean, that's a little harsh. I think that's a little harsh. Guys, don't forget to check out this new Football Prizes giveaway. The signed framed Forest shirt, framed as well. Only 39p if you want to get your tickets in for that. You can insta-win a Sangare shirt, insta-win a Sosa shirt, insta-win that little, what are them things called that they give out at the start of the game? Those little flaggy things. Well, one of those as well. Scan the QR code that's there or type in !prize in the chat. 39p. And there's no limits on how many tickets you get. So check that out now. Okay, let's move into the midfield and Danilo. Look, I don't want to come to any rash judgments on Danilo, right? I remember saying on Grumpy Old Reds a few weeks back, how much gaslighting do we do on Danilo when he was injured? Is he as good as everyone makes him out to be? I didn't think he was good against Brighton. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was his first game back. I thought he was utter shite today. Absolute crap today. His passes were poor. He looks weak in the kind of, you know, shoulder to shoulder battles and what have you. I don't think he's the starter. I think it needs to be Anderson and Sangare, if I'm being honest with you. Sangare looked a lot better when he was on. Maybe he still needs more time to get match fit, but I don't think he's the 6. If you were to play him, you would play him instead of Anderson, is kind of my thinking here. So you would have Sangare plus a Danilo or an Anderson. And right now, Anderson is the better player, even though Anderson had a stinker as well today. I don't rate his performance today at all. He should have been hooked earlier. He was a 2 out of 10. I'm not giving him any injury things or what that. If Nuno started in them, he's fit enough to start him. So I'm giving him a 2. I thought he was really bad today. See what you guys did. I need to cough. 3.7 from you guys for Danilo. Maybe 2's a little harsh. Maybe he's about a 3. I think I'd meet you guys somewhere in the middle. If several players are off, then you look at the manager, says Bubba D. When did Ant say? Remember when Ant said Danilo was our best player? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Nobody stood out. You know it's bad when keeper is praised even after a loss. Yes, we did that a lot of times when we were in those relegation battles and we were losing. We have to buy a top midfielder in the summer, says Marky. You're brutal. Awesome, Wolfie. LOL. I'm not brutal. I'm just honest, man. Look, I ain't saying my opinions, right? It's just how I read the game. Nuno, bad call on Dubai. When I brought this up the other night on Thursday, and I said, this is what they did in Dubai, Ant was like, I don't care. Rob said he didn't care. Crypto didn't care. And all of you in the chat didn't care. It was only me and Lefty that were like, maybe that's why they were really that bad against Exeter, and we've kind of seen it onto here. I just feel like there's a bit of Dubai hangover, man. Little jet lag, old school Cooper style here. Little bit of jet lag. Send them back to Dubai. Only Cells can stay, says Crypto. Well, you wanted Miguel, bro. You wanted Miguel. Fulham hadn't won at home in 5 games. Is that right? It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. All right, let's move on and talk about Anderson. Anderson had the wrong boots on today. That's all I can boil it down to. That's all I can boil it down to. Because he was falling over. There was no studs. His studs were not long enough, or the molds, whatever they're called now. And his passing was poor, and I thought his control was poor today as well. I thought it was one of his worst games in a Forest shirt. I don't think he did anything that was that good. I'm trying to think of a positive here. We're on 71 likes. All right. Let's take a pause. Right. Let's take a pause. Let me just check this. Are we really on 71 likes? Right. We're on 74 now. Right. Everything's on hold till we hit 100 likes. Come on, I have a birthday party to get to. Get those likes up. 95. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Keep nearly there. Come on. Come on, it's free to do. There we go. All right. Now get to 150. Now get to 150. All right. Who are we talking about? Anderson. Yeah, I didn't rate his performance at all today. He's a 3 out of 10 for me. 3 out of 10. Let's see what you guys did. 4.7. You can still vote, by the way. The vote's open. It's live. As soon as you submit your votes, it goes in there. I didn't want to go anyway. Man, it's at a Japanese restaurant. I don't like Japanese food. I don't even think my mum does, to be honest. I don't know why they picked a Japanese restaurant. But anyway. Anyway, let's move on. Right. So You said 4.7 for Anderson. So that Gibbs White. I utterly hated Gibbs White's performance today. His passes were crap. His shots, I don't think he even had one. I mean, not that that would have made a difference. His flicks were back. I mean, he flicked one out for a throw-in. There was nothing good about his. He kind of got the assist, I guess, for the Wood goal. Maybe. I mean, he put it into the area. Wood did a lot of the legwork off the back of that. But I'm sorry, it was really bad today by him. Really bad. And has he ever made a pass with the inside of his boot? I don't know why everything's got to be a Trivela pass with him, man. He's always holding that left L2 button on the controller when he's passing, man. It doesn't need to be that way. Everything's Trivela out to Nico Williams on the left-hand side. Play it simple. Play it simple. I did not enjoy his performance at all today. He's a 2 for me. I thought he was really bad. 3 because of the assist. Can't be higher than that. He can't be higher than that. See what you guys said. Yeah. Hussein, if you're in my chat right now, you are wallahi into kadhabni khalas, man. I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. Yeah, kadhab. Anyway, 3.8 from you lot. Let's move on. Elanga. I'll be honest with you. Elanga was non-existent in that before the formation changed. Non-existent. He didn't get a sniff. He couldn't get anywhere near the ball or anywhere up to the pace of play. This formation today did not suit him. Against Brighton, fully suited him. It wasn't until we switched to the 4-2-3-1 when he went on the right-hand side that suddenly we saw him get in behind a couple of times, that he nearly had a chance at the end of the game. So, like, if you... And this is what's frustrating me about Nuno, is that he didn't see that early enough, man. Like, he had to make... And we'll talk about it when we get to Nuno. So, nothing before the change, and then, like, a 6 out of 10 after the change in terms of formation. I'll give him, like, a 5 overall. 5 overall. He just wasn't really involved in that game. You guys went a 4.5. What are you saying in the chat? I think we should have played Yates. I don't understand why people default to this thought process that when Forest lose and Yates hasn't played, Yates would have came on and changed the game and made Forest look like worldies. I'd love to know the game where that's happened. Let me know. Let me know. Freuler, like, oh my God, that's an old school name. That's an old school name. All right, and then finally from the starting 11, Wadinho. I felt sorry for him. Like, all he was getting was pumped balls long from either Murillo or Sells, and he was trying to get on them. To be honest, Bassi and Anderson were winning most of those, so he didn't really get a sniff. His goal was taken superbly. It really was. No service at all to talk about. And the rest of it, he couldn't get involved. I'll give him a 7 because of his goal, but I don't blame him for that performance. I blame the lack of service and creative. I blame the lack of a midfield. We're back to Donut FC, man. No middle. Literally no middle at all. So I'll give him a 7, a generous 7, because you could argue the other way saying, well, should he have come deeper to get the ball? Well, yes, he did. A couple of times he was coming into his own half just to get the ball. So I'll give him a 7. Let's see what you guys did. 6.3. I can't really argue it. Okay, let's get into the subs. So the first sub that came on, was it the Sangare sub? Was that first? Someone remind me in the chat. Actually, I'll just bring it up here. Was it Sangare, guys? Yeah, it was Sangare for Danilo. Okay. Sangare. Absolute world-class performance. didn't put a foot wrong. He for me felt like the only person when he got the ball, there was space on the ball. He didn't really make any penetrating forward passes, if I'm being honest with you. A lot of the time they'd give it to him and then he'd tap it back to the player. It kind of just went nowhere. But he was a bigger physical presence. I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 just to annoy everyone in the chat. Nah, not really. He was a 6. He was fine. He was better than Danilo. I mean, you can't argue that. He was better than Danilo. So he's a 6 for me. I would love to see the running stats for this and the passing stats. It will say so much. Bro, I can give you the running stats. We'll do it tomorrow on Grumpy Old Reds. Okay. Start giving him a 10. Let's see what you got. 4.4. You lot are harsh. Wait, what did you lot score Danilo? What did you lot score Danilo? 3.7. So you think that Sangare was what would that be? 0.7 better than Danilo? I mean, if there's agendas here, then there's agendas here. Collectively, there is the fullest Sangare agenda I have ever seen. Ever. He was a spectator. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He still had the ball, but he didn't progress anything forward. They were both crap. Fine. I'm not saying they had worldy performances, right? But Danilo was way worse than Sangare. Eyes don't lie. Agendas do, though, NDA. Agendas do. I didn't say he was bad. I don't think he was bad. I just don't think he was progressive, would be how I describe it. Sangare nearly cost us a goal, pulling away from a 50-50. Danilo did cost us a goal because he didn't challenge Jimenez at that front post. Agendas, man. It's sickening. It's sickening. Sickening. Anyway, let's move on from your agendas to Callum Hudson-Odoi. I actually think Callum Hudson-Odoi made a bit of a difference when he came on. He should have scored. He should have scored. He should have scored. Wolfie being very humble. I'm not used to this. I'm always humble on my channel, man. On my channel, I'm humble. I thought he was all right. He should have scored, though. He should have scored. He brought more balance to the force, man. More balance to the force. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Hey, Wolfie, mate, disappointed is right. Forest is a complete mystery to us. We can beat Brighton 7-0, but lose to bloody Fulham. We're obviously too inconsistent to be in a title threat. Sorry. No need to apologize, Paul. I honestly can't argue with much of what you've just said there. His hair looks well long in that picture. Who? Callum Hudson-Odoi's. I mean, I'm sure he's like cut it since, bro. I gave Chow a 5. That's 4. What? I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's see what you guys did for Callum Hudson-Odoi. 5.1. It's a little low. A little low. How are we doing on the likes? We're on 151 likes, right? Get them likes up. Come on. Let's get to 200. Nice and quick. Nice and quick. It only takes a second. It only takes a minute, girl. Who sung that song? It only takes a minute. Why do I know a weird song like that? Does that take that? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, you went 5.1 for him. It was take that. Why the hell do I know that? And then the final sub was Jota, who all I noticed about Jota was that I think he's had a haircut. 3. 3 for me. Let's see what you guys did. 3.4. Okay. I'm really interested to see what you guys did with Nuno. Look, let's be clear here, right? Nuno got the team selection right. There was none of you before the match that was saying it was wrong. 10 because you gave Sangare 10. Agendas. 0 says Muhammad. He's done with Jota. Look, the team selection was right. However, that does not necessitate that it's working in game. As soon as he sees it's not working, change it. If I take your minds back to the City ground and the reverse fixture of this last season, I am sure a lot of you will remember that Marco Silva made, I think, 2 or 3 subs in that first half. Because it wasn't working on the team selection he went for. Nuno's first substitution was 63 minutes into the game. And the only reason that happened is because Fulham scored in the 62nd minute of that game. At halftime at a latest, he should have switched out Sangare for Danilo, Callum Hudson-Odoi for Morato, and gone to a 4-2-3-1. The 3-4-2-1 was not working in game. In fact, it was more a 3-5-1. If I'm being a 3-5-2, sorry, if I'm being honest with you guys. So for me, the team selection was fine, but it didn't work. Change it, man. Change it. Tupac style, man. But he didn't. So it became another bad mark against his name when it comes to subs, because these, again, are reactive subs, not proactive subs. I'm getting annoyed with managers in general. I'm not talking about Nuno here. I'm talking about managers in general, who tend to have, you know, those bras that the players wear, man, that tell them like their energy levels, their heart rates, and all this crap. Like, we're losing. One of the biggest things for me in football is feel. Yeah. As in not feeling another player. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you have a feel for the game. You feel that the momentum is shifting against you, or you feel that the momentum's going for you. Things like that. Whereas now it's too much spreadsheet based. And I'll tag Nuno on this in this game, because if he was feeling the game as we were at halftime, you can see the direction it was going in. We were lucky to be 1-1 at halftime. He should have that feel for the game, that a change is needed. I actually think the goal before halftime, or whenever it was the worst thing that happened, because if we had gone 1-0 up, 1-0 down, if we went in 1-0 down at half time, then he would have had to change it and be reactive. Do you get what I'm saying? And then maybe we'd have seen a 4-2-3-1 from the start of the second half. So the feel from the game has gone. Like, that sixth sense, man, that Jedi mind trick stuff has gone from football, and it's too reliant on freaking sports scientists, sports analysts to tell a manager when to change, or this player needs to come up. This player has exactly 60 minutes in him. Well, no, they don't. No, they don't. How many times has someone been on a jog or something, or running a marathon, and you feel knackered, and then suddenly you get that second wind where that determination kicks in, that I will finish this race, man. Think of Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings, they had a crash just around the final corner. They probably broke some bones there. But when Doris turned to Sanka and said, Sanka, you're dead. Oh, sorry, the other way around. When Sanka turned to Doris and said, Doris, you're dead, he said, nah, man, I got to finish the race. And he got up. So where's that second wind? So stop trusting in these computer. I don't know why I'm going on a rant, but it does annoy me. Anyway, subs were wrong. The game was done at 2-1. There was no wave of attack. And the subs were like, Jota for Anderson didn't really change the shape of the team. It just meant that Gibbs White went into the 8 and Jota Silva went into the 10, and he was pretty crap. Anyway, I remember the first time I saw those sports bras, I had no idea what they were for. I know, I don't. It just annoys me. It annoys me. Why do you have to go a goal up to win games? Why do we have to go a goal up to win games? Because, DJ, if you don't go a goal up, it ends up in a draw or a loss, bro. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to give Nuno, I'm sorry, I'm giving him a 4. A lot of that game was on him because of his poor choices at halftime. He lost the game at halftime, in my opinion. That's when he lost the game. I'm giving him a 4. You guys have gone a 3.6. I think that's absolutely fair. I really do. Okay, man of the match. It sells. Should we spice up? Do you guys want to do a man of the match? Wait, are we still live? Why have you lot all stopped typing? All right, here we go. The messages are coming in now. 4 is too high. I get what you're saying, but I just haven't got the energy right now. I'm trying not to get myself angry because I've got to go and like, you know, be nice to my mum and stuff. Like going in with an angry mode ain't gonna help no one. Okay, I was just gonna say, right, there's no point in man of match. We could do something that we could do who is the crappiest player of the match to spice it up. Instead of MOTM, we could do COTM. I don't know. Do you guys want to give it a try? Maybe it'll make us all feel better. Fells is clearly man of the match, but who is COTM? Crapper of the match. Zagari's not going on the list. This is thinking on the spot here. COTM. Who do you guys want on COTM? Morgan Gibbs White is definitely on the list. Morato is definitely on the list. Let's give your mum as an option for man of the match. Who else? Danilo, good shout. By the way, watch the haters be like, look how negative he is. We're just doing this for some fun to cheer ourselves up, right? So go and watch Happy Clapper channel or something. Anderson was pretty crap as well, wasn't he? Okay. Should we go with Anderson? Let's go with Anderson. Whatever. I know. Look, just for a bit of fun, maybe it cheers some of us up. I don't know. Maybe it boils your mood even more. Who is the crapper of the match? You got Morgan Gibbs White, Morato, Danilo, or Anderson. Get your votes in. John Cena, man of the match. Well, his name was Alanga today because he didn't see him till the formation change. Oh my God, poor Danilo, man. Who's going to get the first ever crapper of the match title that we've ever run? You shouldn't have got rid of Andre Santos. Chris, don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. Wow, there's a clear favorite here on who's winning. Danilo's on 41% of the votes. MGW in second with 30%. Morato in third with 23%. And Mr. Anderson with 7% of the vote. Danilo's performance was much worse than any from Yates or Dominguez this season. Ben, I could give you a list of Yates's poor performances. All right, I'll give you guys 10 more seconds to get your votes in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And your winner of the first ever inaugural, that's not the right word, the premiere of Crapper of the Match has gone to Danilo with 40% of the vote. 40% of the vote. Anyway, I hope that cheered you up. I'm off to have a meal at some Japanese restaurant. We'll be back tomorrow with my inaugural. Thank you, Chocker. I knew that word was like that, innit? I knew. Thank you, Carol. That's very kind of you, Carol. Much love. I've now got to pretend I'm in a good mood. That's why I haven't ranted on today's video. I don't want to get myself worked up and then be like, hi, Mom. Oh, man, if she's watching this, she doesn't know, by the way. Surprise. Well, that's the surprise we're in. Okay. I better stop talking. All right, please make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here. I'll have a video out for you guys tomorrow morning and then Grumpy Old Reds tomorrow night. Until then, enjoy your evenings. Happy birthday, Mum. Happy birthday to you lot. Forest is still third. That's the best I can offer you. Come on, you Reds.